Hey everybody, hey everybody. How's everybody doing today? Bobo, go get your tablet for me. Cause I need it. Yeah, I need it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go give it, go bring it here. Cause I wanna see something. Okay, whatever. Don't even go Mommy need it for real. Okay. Yeah, for real. Seriously. I am sure. I need it for real. Hey, who is this? Who is this here with me? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I know it's been a minute since I've been live. I know. I'm gonna get better, y'all. I be running around to different platforms. I'm gonna do better. I'm coming back to YouTube full force, doing our live videos. It been so much going on. It's so much going on. We're raising these babies, trying to get through everyday life, living life. Life is lifing, per usual. But it's all accepted, baby, because as long as you breathing, honey, it'll be all right. It'll be all right, regardless of what it is. It'll be all right. You can get through it, whatever it is. I was just seeing so much going on. Child, it's just so much. It's just too much going on. Period. But one thing that I see recently going on that just caught my attention because we all go through it at some point. I've even gone through it at some point. But when your children grow older and they start, to try to find themselves and they choose to identify with whatever they want to identify with in this life, whether it's something that you agree with or don't agree with, they still feel like it's their life and they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to identify how they want to identify, no matter if it's positive or negative, right? And I was just looking at the thing here with T.I. son. Of course, never on this page we don't pass no judgment because none of us can. All of us have at some point fallen short as a parent, whether you think you have or not. I'm very quite sure if we ask your children at some point, they'll say that you dropped the ball, right? Because sometimes we think we're doing all the right things, but they require more, and we don't know more because we know how to provide the basic necessities. We know we're supposed to love them. We give them a roof over their head. We give them food in their mouth. And sometimes some of them require more than that. They require different things. So, like I said, we do what we know that what comes normal. But then someone would still say we dropped the ball. Baby, watch this. Let me use this. Watch Madagascar for me. Well, watch. You do use this real quick. They'll still feel like we dropped the ball. But I was just looking at the thing here. Y'all know I was a child that was raised up on. My mom was more physical. She didn't do any talking, baby. She pulled that stench cord out, baby. It's whatever she say, baby. She don't want to hear nothing. She don't want to hear your opinions or whether you like a decision she made, whether you like it or not. Children to be seen, not heard. I was just brought up in that era. But I was just looking at the thing with T.I. and his son, King, which King has been kind of acting out for a long time. And I remember that he came out and he said that after the little when they had what it was the family hustle, I think it was, he would say after the show aired he would go back to his grandma's house or whatever. But so a lot of people are saying that that's why, because he was brought up most with his grandma and this, that, and the third. Come on, y'all. A lot of us had parents that worked 2 and 3 jobs, and a lot of us stayed with our grandmas. That still didn't give us no right to disrespect our parents, right? We understood that we had to be there because mama and daddy was trying to make a better life for us. That still didn't give us the authority to just be flat out cussing them out or um, challenging them as far as trying to boast up at them or treat them like a person in the streets. Come on now, because that's probably over half of our story. We was at grandma's house while mama and daddy worked, or while some of us just mama, worked her tail off to try to make ends meet and keep a roof over our head. But still, we didn't think that just gave us uh, a right to be just flat out disrespectful to her, uh, because we may have wanted more time with her or felt like we was being left behind or she's always at work. She's never had time for us. Eh, most of us from back in those, like in the 80s and 90s, and we understood that. You know, we understood that that's just something that had to happen. You know, she had to work her tail off in order for us to eat. You know, and a lot of us just preferred grandma's house anyway because grandma was usually older and grandma wasn't on our tails as much as mama and daddy. You know, grandma was probably in the bed after she cooked and made sure we ate and all that. She wasn't, you know, over us every second of the day. So a lot of people preferred to be at grandma's house. But I was just looking at the thing, and when he first started acting out, I was saying like, is it something? Which is the thing that most people in this generation go to as soon as a child start acting out. Always the parents, doing something wrong. This, that, third, fourth, fifth. Of course, that's the first thing that everybody try to do. I see it, baby. Is try to give the children, try to blame the children's actions on everybody but the children, right? So that's mainly why a lot of the children do act up because they feel like no matter what they do, it's gonna be somebody else to blame. They don't have to take accountability for anything that they do because they labeled a quote unquote child, right? At 19 years old, you're not a child, right? You at some point, no, now you're not mentally as why I'm not gonna even say that because at 19 it just depends on what you've gone through. Because what like that song said, experience is a good teacher. You know, some people experience more at by the time they're 19 than people that are 40 and 50 because their life was harder. You know, they were forced to grow up fast. So a lot of times at 19 they do have a impressive intellect, right? But this child, like when it first started happening, it was just more of, okay, he's acting out. It's something else he's lacking. He's wanting. I don't know if they was around much, you know, with both of them being famous. But then when you hear the things that he say, and people still try to make excuses after he says his issue, he'll come out of his mouth and say or challenge his father. It's just like it's something with him and his dad. I don't know what it is. Now his dad, you know, we all know where T.I. come from. He's never lied about his life. The fact that he was a street pharmacist, the fact that he did most of the things he rapped about, we all knew that, right? But I'm very quite sure he didn't do it in front of his children. It was his life in the streets. But he also talked about how he wanted his children all to have something different. He didn't sit down and accept his children being street farmers. That's not what he didn't promote. I want you to go out here and be a street pharmacist. That's the life he had to live to get what he got, right? And a lot of us have done things that we would never want our children to do, and we would never accept our children doing, right? But it's a different time. It's a different era. Back in our day, street pharmacists was common. They was on every corner you walked to, right? So nobody really took the time to sit back and make a big deal about it. It was something that was common. But this baby, he just seemed like for some reason, no matter the fact that his man, your parents rich. You don't have to do that. Your dad did it because he had to. He didn't come from rich parents. You, on the other hand, do. But this is just a prime example of what I say. You can work your tail off for your children to have a better life and to try to keep them away from the things that you endure coming up. But some of them still choose it because to them it looks fun. It's more exciting to be the bad guy or to be a bad boy than to be a child that go to college, um, become a lawyer, a doctor, those things that, a fireman, a policeman, or whatever, the things that most people try to push their children to be, a surgeon, things like that. That's not fun to them. So they don't go that way. They try to go a whole nother way that they feel like one is gonna come quick. It doesn't require much work to be a street dude. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to put in the work that it takes to be a doctor or attorney. They don't want to do that. They want to go grab a pack and get out here where they feel like that lifestyle come because they see the glamours that come with that lifestyle, the girls, the money. But when this a child like this that's rich, you don't even have to do that. Like the money, just off of who offspring you are, you'll get all the girls just to know that you're T.I. son or because you're a tiny son. You're gonna get it. It's gonna come anyway, but he still wanna be street. He constantly was telling his dad, I stand on business, I stand on business, and was basically trying to talk down to his dad, like, you ain't nothing. Oh, remember, I know you. I know you. Like, you trying to take credit from who your father really is. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that concept of, like I said, but it's probably a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Of course it is. That's everybody, because everybody have their own skeletons. It's what happens in this house stays in this house. So everybody got skeletons. But this child is always just outright just trying to be seen for the most negative things. He don't want to be seen for nothing positive. But he's self-identifying. And the first thing people gonna want to do is say it's his parents' fault. No, this is the identity King is trying to make for himself. You heard his father say in the video, he said, you're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing your family. But he don't care about that. That is what he wants to self-identify with. He wants to be a street dude. He don't want to be a doctor. He don't want to be a lawyer. He don't want to be anything like who his father is trying to become now. He don't want, I think he's losing respect for him, actually, because T.I. is cleaning up his life and try to do stuff the right way and not being a street from his. And that's the craziest thing. He don't respect that. He has no respect for that. He has no respect for what they see as, corny. Sorry, y'all. She trying to watch her tablet. She want to watch it all out while I'm on live. But yeah, they relate to something different. But it's just like I said, everybody go through it. I've seen, but I like the fact, even though I am one, because I got so many whoopings, you have to push me. I'm not an advocate for that. I'm not an advocate for doing it. Some kids, like I said, do require it. After you've told them 1,000 times, some of them do require it. But I'm just not an advocate for it. And when he put him in choke, yeah, when he did what he did, I applauded it. Because, like, you kept challenging your dad. Like, come on now, you don't have to try to dim your dad light for your light to shine. You 19. Your light is starting to shine. Like, just keep it shining. You don't have to do that to your dad. Why would you want to dim your dad light? You don't have to. Why you want to dim your daddy light for yours to shine? Why you feel like your parents is the ones you want to attack and go after just to get famous? You already famous. They already did the footwork. You're already famous. What else is it that you want? What else is it that you require? I wish somebody like Dr. Phil or somebody would sit them two down. I wish somebody like Ivana or Dr. Phil or somebody like that would sit them two down and just, if they can't communicate effectively without two alpha males, because sometimes that can come into play when it's two alpha males, because T.I. don't seem like he's good at standing down neither, right? So I think maybe if somebody maybe talk to both of them and just see what is it that you want, King. Regardless of what has happened in the past, we can't change the past. The past has already happened. What can we do to move forward, son, so you can stop this, so you can stop getting out here trying to make a name for yourself in the most negative way? You don't want to be known for nothing good, son. Why is that? I just hope somebody would definitely have that conversation with them, but that's a common issue. And then I had some people saying that it's rich people problems. No, it's not. That has no tax bracket. It's children in general. They grow up, even boys sometimes, and the girls usually grow up. Sometimes they'll grow up and try to, at some point in their life, try to challenge the mom. Like, I feel like I'm grown, so I'm going to challenge your authority. Okay, so then at that point, the mom handles it. But the boys, they get grown, and then that alpha stuff starts to kick in. And so you have a father, even though he may have been the biggest disciplinarian their whole life, they may have instilled the fear of everything in their sons, but they've got into the streets at some point and got impressed by something that they've seen in the streets, and they decided to come home and challenge their dad. So what he did, I totally agree with. I'm happy T.I. did it. I'm happy he did it. He didn't grab a belt or nothing. You want to be a man? I'm about to show you who the man is. So since you want to now challenge me, challenge my authority, now it is what it is. You want to stand in front of me as a man? I'm going to stand in front of you as a man. Made the best man win. And he showed him real quick. He snatched him up so fast he couldn't do nothing. He said, boy, you can't do nothing with me, boy. And I was so happy. I applauded it, y'all. I applauded it. Get him, T.I. Because, I mean, who do you think you are? You out in a public place. Your daddy just performed for the Atlanta Falcons to come out. And you do your family like this. You put your family on blast like this and try to get this black cloud over your family, knowing that your family already been in the, been in the spotlight for all kind of negative stuff. Why would your child do that to you? And then Tiny said, the reason why, which he didn't dispute it, he said out his own mouth, which everybody trying to say, oh, he was raised by his grandma. Did y'all not hear the child say he rather being at his grandma's house because he did not want to be in a gated community? He wanted to be able to be outside. Again, self-identifying. He want to be a hood dude. He don't want to be a rich and famous spoon-fed child. So no matter what his parents was able to or not to give him, it don't matter to him. It all goes out the window. He's now self-identifying, and he wants to be a hood dude. He don't want to be a child that's grateful for the fact that you have famous parents and you never have to struggle in your life. He's not grateful for that. He could care less. He want to be on the corners with the street farmers. He want to be out, like, that's just crazy. But that's reality. This is what I say when I say children are people. Yes, you train a child in the way they should go and all this and all that, but sometimes, like I said, they should never depart from it. That's just not true. Sometimes they depart from it. And it's no bearing on the parents at all. They have zero to do with the fact that their child have decided to depart from it. Their child has now got to a point in their life where they're self-identifying, and the things that you have instilled in them is not the things that they want to self-identify with. They've chosen to self-identify with something totally different that they find more amusing and more appealing than what you have instilled in them and what you've showed them. All the great things that you've showed them in their life, all the, making sure that they never went to sleep hungry, all that out the window. That's the reality that people are scared to say out loud. That is the truth. Sometimes it's just no answer for the way that people act. That's just like you could be the most amazing person in the world. You could have never done nothing bad in your life. You could be just as sweet, you can have a clean record. And one day you can encounter the wrong person that try you the wrong way. You have to defend yourself or whatever and end up unaliving them or whatever. Now it gets out to society. They don't even have to know the whole story. All that they see that you unalive somebody, right? Regardless of why you did it, they're now trying to erase everything good that you've done in this life and base who you are on that one mistake that you made that you didn't ask for, but it came your way. So you had to do what you had to do to survive. So it's going to always be somebody out there that's going to always try to go back to what you've done before or the mistakes that you've made at some point in your life. People don't want to see you grow. People don't want to see you become better. They're going to always try to stick to what they know bad about you. People, that's why they say there'll always be more people at your funeral than there will your graduation. Because the world thrives off negativity. They thrive off all the things that you've done wrong versus focusing on the fact that you've done more good things than bad things, right? They want to see you do bad things because they want to have something to talk about. But perfection, and we none of us was ever meant to be perfect. So we all fall short of God's glory probably daily, right? We always probably do something that we may have to repent for, whether it's something little or something big, but it's something that we know is not of God, so we have to repent for it. But at the same time, like I said, thank God we had that option of going to ask God for his forgiveness and repenting for what we may have done wrong. But this particular situation, like I said, we none of us can judge because we all fall short, and a lot of us have had kings in our house. When I say kings, I mean children like King. That just it don't matter what you do for them, it's never enough. And like I said, even if they wasn't around enough, if they was out doing the things to make him have a better life, then I mean, hey, plenty of mom, even all these single moms out here working 2 and 3 jobs, they never with their kids. They probably get to see their kids for a good hour a day because they're so tired. Even when they come home, they gotta sleep. Some children unfortunately have to help with other children while mama work or while mama and daddy work. Like it's life. It's not fair in some situations. No, it's never fair that sometimes you fall in situations where your older children have to raise your younger children. That's never fair, right? But life ain't fair. Situations are just what they are. Situations. What occurs, what occur. And of course, yeah, we all sure you shouldn't have babies until you can take care of them. You shouldn't. Yeah, we know what all is a lot of stuff we shouldn't do, but people do it. Right? Even you've done some stuff that you know good and well you shouldn't have done, but you still indulged. You still did it. Right? It is what it is. Don't sit there and wobble in it. Do make the best of it. Do your best, of course, try not to inflict that kind of trauma on your children because you're right. The older children should not have to raise the younger children. That should, stuff like that should not happen. We wish we didn't live in a world where parents could not get that type of support. We wish we didn't live in a world where mothers had to become single mothers. We wish we didn't live in that world, but the reality of it is we live in a world where sometimes the dads leave. And true, these days, sometimes the mom leave too. They wake up one day and they be fed up and they leave. Oh, these children staying right here with daddy. I got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? So life happens to everybody. Nobody is above it. Nobody is, you know, kept safe from it. It happens. Life happens. Life be life for everybody. But yeah, this child, like I said, at first I thought he was just screaming out for help, in my opinion. But then I started to see like he's self-identifying. King is trying to create a identity for himself. But for all he wanted to be known for all the wrong things. I stand on business. I stand on business. Stand on what business, baby? You talking to your parents. What kind of business are you trying to stand on, sweetheart? Who are you trying to stand on business against? You're talking to your mother and your father. And just like Tiny said, when she came, she said, you know why you stayed at your grandma's house? Because you wanted to be 12 years old still on the pacifier. And we all know a lot of our grandmas allowed us to do stuff that our mamas wouldn't allow us to do. I am a grandmother and I do it because it's something about those grandbabies that you let them get away with a little more than you let your children get away with. Because like I said, it's our place to teach them and all that, but we don't have to raise them when they have active parents. It's not our job to raise our grandchildren unless we're forced to. Other than that, of course, like I said, we instill the good things in them. We teach them right from wrong along with their parents. We do our best to make sure that the rules and regulations that happen in their parents' house, we uphold them when they're at our house. But at the end of the day, it's more lenient at grandma's house. I mean, that's just facts. It's always been. Even the grandmas that did would tell you to go outside and get that switch and all that. At the majority of the time, they want to come give you some candy or Nana, sorry, but you made me this, that, and third. It was just a different type. It's a different type of love. It just is. Okay. Whether people willing to admit it or not, it's a different type of love. And like I said, it's not our job to raise our grandchildren unless we have to. But it's just like this baby, I don't know. But like I said, it resonated um with me even watching my children come up. I watch my children come up and some of them are doing things the total opposite of what we talked about. Like we all had plans at the high school, you going to the Navy, like stuff that they came to me themselves and said this is what they're gonna do. After high school, I mean had recruiters all through high school and all that. But the day they walked across that stage, they wanted to do something totally different. I want to be a rapper. You want to be a what? A rapper? What? Where did this come from? You understand what I'm saying? Why do you want to be a rapper? Do you understand that that doesn't happen for everybody? And it wasn't trying to steal his dream or nothing like that. It was like, come on, let's just be more. Even if you want to be, let's continue on this path of what we've built and what we talked about. You going through school. Nobody stuck to the plan. So far, out of 9 children, the first 5, nobody stuck to the plan. That's grown and all that. Nobody stuck to the plan. Everybody, once they got started to self-identify, they made their own choices with their life. Whether I agreed with them or not, they still decided to do whatever it is they wanted to do with their lives. All we can do is sit back. We inserted our opinion when the decisions were first made, but all we can do is sit back and understand it's their life, whether we like the decisions or not. They grown. All we can do is sit back and watch how it play out, right? And of course, support them as long as it's something positive. Because if it's something negative, I ain't supporting nothing. But support them in whatever it is they want to do with their life. Because although I gave birth to them, I don't control their life. Once they are adult and it's time to leave the nest and stuff like that, you got to do your thing. But understand, when it goes bad, don't try to come back and say it's mama or daddy's fault, because we taught you better, regardless of what we come from and what we did. We did our best so that you wouldn't have to go through the same struggle. Now, if the struggle is what you picked for your life, then that's what you picked for your life. That's your issue, not mine. All right? Because the difference between us, we didn't have nobody's guiding and holding our hand through life like y'all did. You understand? We made sure we held y'all hand through life. We didn't have that. We didn't have that at a young age. So the fact that y'all have chosen to walk through it, and if things don't go the way that you see them, because you're making this choice at graduation. You know what I'm saying? The day after graduation. So now you don't have a plan because you haven't worked towards this other goal that you want for yourself. Hey, Miss R, how you doing? Kiki, Miss R on here. We haven't talked to her in so long. Say hey to Miss R. Come here. Say hey.
Hey,
Say where you been.
what you been?
We miss you. We are so fine. How are you doing? How you doing, love? And I appreciate you so much, Miss R. You still a member. How you feel about this though, Miss R? What you think about these children? She said, hey, my boo thing, Kiki. She said, hey. Kiki. Miss R said, hey, boo thing. She said, hey. She gets so big, Miss R. That's great. You doing great. I'm so happy to hear that. She gets so big. I would actually had a camera on, but she watching Madagascar and stuff in here. She done took over my space. But yeah, it's just that, these children start to self-identify. But like I said, a lot of things in this world, people want to blame the parents for everything, every adversity, everything that happened bad in children's life. And that's just not the case. It's not fair to the parents. And it's just not, it's not cool. I've been watching. I see she getting big. Yes, she is. She a trip too. Yes, she is a trip. She is a trip. She is getting big. But yeah, that's just not fair. Stop giving children because do you think, I think he acts out more because of course he see all these comments online that's making everybody accountable but King. So the children are good. Hey, Demetric Stewart, how are you? The children are going to continue to do the same things because they're not held accountable for nothing. They're always giving somebody else the blame for their actions. They can blame everybody in the world instead of having to swallow it and hold it on themselves. No, it's your fault. It's nobody else's fault for what's going on in your life, for what's going good or bad in your life, but you. Right? You want to take credit for everything good. But when it's something bad, now it's their parents' fault. Their parents hold accountability for everything bad in their life, but they can take credit for everything good in their life. No, sir. No. You grown. Whatever happens in your life or whatever journey you decide to take, because one thing we are not in control in as their parents is their journey. We can lay the blueprint and hope that they continue to follow it so that their journey can be successful without any roadblocks, but it's up to them to take the journey. This new generations are lost. Yeah, they are. They are. They just, and I don't even think it's the new generation, Miss R. It's always been here. It's not something new because I was a lost child myself. You know what I'm saying? But my parents, of course, they passed when I was young, but I was still lost. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. It's just more, I think we see it more now because it's the internet. When we was coming up, it was just Just me that camera would have. Just me that camera would have went off. No, he did the right thing. He did it so let him see. Yeah. Right here, right now, where you disrespecting me at, it's the same place where I'm gonna handle you at. I don't care who see it. You on live, you think the Instagram live or whatever that defines who you are, that give you some, oh, that Instagram live made you poke your chest out. I'm the one you choose to challenge while you on live. Well, right now they about to see you get what I'm about to give to you on live. And I'm glad he did it just how he did it. You're a grown man. You want to stand up against me? You 19 years old. It is what it is. Let's do this. Let's do this. You so strong, prove it. Since I'm the one you want to challenge, I'm the one who you want to try to knock down. I'm the one, me and your mama, the ones that you want to try to challenge. And then he sat there and talked like the man wasn't even his father. Tell him, you gonna let him play with me like that? Who do you think you are, little boy? Like that child just don't went totally, that child don't went totally crazy. Okay, let's just say it. But like I said, it's more like now, like I said, it's always been around. It's just that it wasn't the internet. The internet is showing us a lot of what we already saw in our neighborhoods, but it just wasn't broadcasted. So everybody act like, want to say it's like it's something new. It's not. Many criminals come out of the 80s, the 90s, the 70s. Many criminals existed then. It just wasn't broadcasted. So now that we all see it, physically can see it, we're like, wow. I was lost too, but I knew better to do something in the streets that would embarrass my parents or myself. Yeah, sometimes that's good that you were like that, Miss R. But a lot of people wasn't. A lot of people wasn't. When these children moving, they don't care about how it's going to affect their family. They don't care about that. They just want to make their street name. They want to be appealing to their peers. They don't care how it's going to make mama and daddy look. When they doing what they doing, mama and daddy the last person on their mind. They don't care. They just want to be street appealing. They want to be a part of the crowd that's more popular. That's what I say. As much as you feed into your children when they little, you be a leader, not a follower. You say that 1,000 times. They grow up and still want to be followers. Even though that's why they say you know better, you do better. No, it ain't. You can know better all you want, but you still, for some reason, want to challenge it. Like they say, the children put their hand in the fire to see if it burns. Yeah, you got those children out there. No matter how much you try to protect them for it, they still want to walk in that fire. They want to see if it really burned. And then when it burned, now they want to come back, Mama, why you let me walk through the what? They have fear of God, and that's a serious issue. More of them need this. That's the thing. More they don't want to talk about God. God is a subject that, as much as it's pushed. I have a little niece, my husband, brother, daughter, and I've been watching her, and I don't even know I don't even think she knows I watch her the way she do, Miss R. This baby, so she was like maybe 13 or whatever. Like I do, the love this child has for God. It's just like it's a breath of fresh air, right? I'm like, wow. I wish my kids was like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I know the comparison is the thief of joy, but baby, when it comes to something like that, that's something to compare. Just the way this child is, y'all. When she go online, you never hear her saying nothing bad. Everything she posts is about God. This baby be live while she in church, y'all, since a little girl. And I was like, wow, that is what we missing. That is what, just watching her. She be making me feel like I ain't as into God as I should be. Just watching this child. This baby, I don't see her doing nothing normal. What we see as quote unquote normal teenagers doing nothing. This baby just about the Lord. This baby be at church. They don't, and that's it, Dimitri. Yeah, they don't fear nothing. You hear me? They don't fear, and I'm like, what, Dimitri? Yes, it is. Yes, they don't fear nothing. I'm like, y'all a different breed. They are a different breed. Like they got on some turf tough. Like they just walk around with turf tough body gear on all day long. They don't feel nothing. That's why I was glad he took them down. I was hoping that he put them to sleep. I watched my nephew in the Navy. He be doing this thing. He always want to try it on people. So let me show y'all what. No, you ain't finna show. Nope. You is not finna show us what you learned. Not the Navy, he in the Marines. Nope. He know how to put people to sleep with a finger and all that. No, child, you're not finna play with me. You're not, because I mess around and don't wake up, baby. Y'all better call the people something. They're not scared. No, they not, because you know what, Miss R, they get a tap on the finger. Why would they be scared of something with no matter what they do when they go in there, their main focus is rehabilitation. Okay? Meaning that they won't be held really accountable for their crimes. Because whether it's a 14-year-old or 15-year-old behind that trigger or a 30-year-old, the effect was the same. Even if you unalive somebody, and if it was with malicious intent, it should not matter how old you are. But they go back there and they already know they're gonna get a slap on the wrist. It's because this, like, that's how they feel. Their main focus is rehabilitation. Them children already know they go in there and play around, act like they're better, then they let them out, and then it becomes a revolving door. Because as an adult, they walk right back in those in prison doors. Had you held them accountable as a child a little more, maybe you could have prevented them from becoming an adult offender. Had you really held them accountable as a child instead of slapping them on the wrist at top of some rehabilitation. Some people are already self-identifying. Some of them can't be rehabilitated. Some of them are just evil. That's the reality. They are evil people that walks among us. That's a reality. That's a proven fact. When you don't respect your parents, people in the world ain't got nothing coming. I'm telling you, if you can't respect them, you can't respect nobody. I have never been in jail a day in my life, but I'm scared to death of going. Okay, Miss R, you better say it. Because let me tell you something. For one, I just can't. I can't do nobody telling me I got to get up a certain time and having to use restrooms behind. I don't even like to use public bathrooms. My children to tell you. I have a bad time with that. I can't do it. I be like, let's go home. I got to use the bathroom. And they hate it. They be like, Ma, just go to, no. I'm about to go. I'm about to go. I got to go home. That's just always been me. So, baby, jail. Baby, please, no. I can't do it. I cannot do it, baby. I can't do it. It ain't the place for me. And I ain't ashamed to say it. But these days, these kids, I go to jail. How you'll do what? You'll do what? That place dirty. What you mean? That's where you want to go? Please, I can't. Yeah, Miss R, I can't do it. I can't do it at all. My kids will tell you they can't stand to go nowhere with me. They be like, Mom, they treat me like you treat the children. Mom, you use the bathroom before we leave. Hey, did you already use the bathroom? Because ain't nobody got time to get out here and get the shopping and stuff. And then you be like, you got to go home and use the bathroom. They'll tell you quick because they already know. I be like, oh, this over. I got to use the bathroom. I got to go home. That bad seed, yeah. Because at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, it's just people. We people. There's some good people. There's some bad people. Now, I'm not saying that people can't change. I'm not saying that if you're a bad person, you can never change. But some of them don't. Just the reality of it, some of them just don't require. They don't want to change. They want to be exactly who they are. And it's nothing nobody can do to change that. And it's nobody's fault. It's just that's what they identify with, being a wicked person. Some people are just flat out evil. They are devils that walk amongst us. Just like God have people the devil do too. There are devils that walk among us. Sad to say, this generation lost. I don't think they all lost. I think some of them just choose. It ain't really that they lost. That's just how they self-identify it. Like I say, God has people and the devil do too. And they all walk amongst us. Right? They trying to I think a lot of them are trying to find their identity though. I don't think any of us have I don't how I'm gonna say this. Because that's just like me. Like I said, I've lived the majority of my life being a mother, right? Being a wife. I've never had time to really be me, right? So even at my old age, I'm trying to figure out, identify with who is it really that you are. So see, sometimes that's not even so much of um being of the world. It's just sometimes life gets you to a place where you have no identity because you spent your whole life pouring into everybody else, being everything to everybody, that you forget to be anything to yourself. So you've not created your own identity, right? Because you made sure that everybody else was okay, but you forgot yourself in that process. So that so really now you find yourself in the old age, everybody's starting to grow up and leave, and now you sitting back like, what's next? Because you don't know how to be anything else but a mom, or you don't know how to be anything else but a dad, or you don't know how to be anything else but what you've been the majority of your life. So that's why I say how important it is for some parents to make sure, well, for every parent, to make sure you find some time for yourself, even though the kids will make you feel bad. They'll make you feel like you're the worst parent because you just want to go out and find yourself. Oh, you gonna leave us behind, or you selfish for doing this and doing that, and that stuff sit in your mind and you let it manifest and you believe that you're really wrong for trying to do anything for yourself that does not include your children or that does not include your spouse. You believe that because you've always been the person who held it all together for them. But then you get a reality check. Then you grow up. I mean, they grow up and they leave, or like your marriage start to not work, and now you like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do next? This is all I've ever known. Mental illness is so prevalent in this society too. We need more help. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Miss R. Yes, it is. Mental health is very, very, very important. But a lot of people shrug it off. A lot of people don't want to deal with mental health because you know what that's where those discussions come in, Miss R, where you have to talk about the bad things, or you have to talk about the things that people don't want to address. Those skeletons in the closet, those maybe the child telling you that you were not the perfect parent that you thought that you were, or even the parent having to tell the child that I loved you. Sometimes I didn't like you, but I always loved you. Sometimes I felt like I may have overwhelmed myself or I should have made different choices. And then it make you say, oh, now you feel like, see, people can't really express themselves like that because then the first thing the child say, oh, I'm a burden on you. Oh, I did it. So then, they don't accept the words how you saying them. They just hear the words, you know. So people can't have those open conversations. So it make people compress emotion. No one has different identities. They are followers. A lot of them. You're right, Demetri. A lot of them, they want to follow. They want to follow the crowd. They want to do what make them popular. Like, didn't I tell you since you was old enough to understand to be a leader, not a follower? Why did you grow up and decide to be a follower? Do you understand that's exactly what you are doing? Whether you trying to make your own mark on the world, being the biggest at it, you still following somebody else because nobody, as soon as they're born, say, I want to be a street pharmacist. That ain't nothing that's talked about. It's always the common things. When you ask kindergartners what they want to be, all of them say the same exact things. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. Oh, I want to be now I've heard them say, I can't say I've heard them say before because they watch rappers now. In this society, I hear them say, I want to be a rapper. I hear that now. When my kids was coming up, ain't none of them ever told me coming up that they wanted to be a rapper. Although they may have looked at rappers, they never said that that's what they wanted to be. Now they would have little ciphers around the house with their dad, and none of them could rap, but they would have little ciphers. And I have a video of them get them, dad. Like they would just do little cute stuff like that. But none of them inspired to be a rapper. None of them ever said I inspired to be that. It was just something that I don't know. I guess that's just a manly thing to do with daddies and sons. Bless you, Mumu. Bless you, Mumu. Well, daddies and son had rap battles, in the house. But like I said, it still wasn't nothing that they ever inspired to do because it was nothing that they tried to do on a regular basis. These kids talk more than they listen. You can't tell them nothing, even these older ones at all. That's what everybody they be saying when I post videos of my granddaughter, they be like, oh, she's so disrespectful. She's so this and that and third. And I be telling them quick, listen, at the end of the day, you raise your child how you raise your child, and let me do what I gotta do with mine. Mind your business. Because at the end of the day, if I didn't ask you for help, I don't need it. Understand, I'm doing it different. See, we come from the era where children would be seen, not heard. So you never knew how far your child would go. That's why so many parents that try to run up when their child do something. I know my baby didn't do that. My baby don't do that. How you know? You never took the time to see how far. You never gave your child enough rope to see just how far they would go to know if your child is really capable of this. You just assume they're not because you don't even know your own child. Because every time they want to say something to you, you tell them to go in the room, or you shutting them out. You don't want to hear what they got to say. So you don't know what your child capable of. So that's why I tell them quick, please understand. When I allow her to go far, I want to see how far she'll go. So I never be surprised by anything. I can automatically say if something going on here, I can automatically tell you who did it, right? Because I've always given all of them enough rope. So I can always tell you straight up, you can't lie to me. Because see, I parent different. I gave you enough rope to see exactly who you are and what you're capable of. So I know you're capable of it. So you can tell that to somebody else. You always just think the worst of me. No, I don't. but I know you capable of that. And I know not until you did, and I ain't been wrong yet. You hear me? I ain't been wrong yet when I can pinpoint who did what. I ain't been wrong yet. We also not equipped as parents to guide this new generation. We did as we were told and followed our parents' guidance. That's what I'm saying. But they knew. That's why I tell people the parenting of the old ways do not work with these new age kids. It's not the same. That's all. Like I said, when I be posting videos of my grandbaby, people don't understand because they're not used to it. Of course, people from the 70s, 80s, and all that going to see it as deem it as disrespectful. Of course, back then it was seen as disrespectful, and still now it may be seen as disrespectful. But like I tell them, you can't tell me it was disrespectful to me. What may be disrespectful to you is disrespectful to you, but understand she wouldn't talk to you like that because she knows better. But what I allow is what I allow. You don't tell me what my boundaries are with my child or my grandchildren. Your boundaries are yours. But don't come telling me what mine should be. Because I am in no way or, in no way care about what you think. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this my way. You understand? And at the end of the day, like I tell people, don't tell me what should be disrespectful to me. She ain't talking to you. She talking to me. Don't tell me what I should accept and not accept. Mind your business. You can't tell me what I can accept in my house with my grandchildren. They minds and understand they know their limits with me. So as long as we set what we set in our house, that's all. And see, that's another problem. A lot of people so worried about trying to tell everybody else how to raise their children. They ain't even raising their own, or they couldn't at some point raise their own. That's why they trying to come inflict their parenting skills, trying to tell somebody else, a total stranger, how to raise their child. Hush, worry about your own children. These children have backup. They have phone numbers that they can they can divorce us, Mr. And let me tell you something. We need to go back, in my opinion. It worked. I think it didn't though, Miss R. I'm not gonna say it worked. You know why I'm not gonna say it worked? Because as many stitcher cords and everything else I got, I still do what I want to do. You understand? I just learned how to be more deceptive at it to not get caught. So we can't say it worked. We can't say the children are to be seen, not heard. We can't. I respect. Of course, I respect your opinion, Ms. R. But I can't say it worked. It did not work. Like I said, it's still plenty criminals from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and those kids were still very disrespectful when they were outside of their parents' view, which is the same thing they do now. A lot of stuff that kids do when they outside your home, they wouldn't dare do in front of you. You understand what I'm saying? So it still was the same things. This stuff always existed. It's just more on Front Street now because it's social media. But I can't say the old era other ways worked. They didn't work. The beatings did not work. The whoopings did not work. Because if that's the case, it wouldn't be prisons if they worked. If they worked, their child, if those whoopings, as much as those parents back in the day inserted all those strict rules and that discipline, prisons would not have one person in them. You see what I'm saying? It may have worked better for that era of people, though, Miss R. This is different. This breed, you was scared, Miss I was too now sometimes, but now sometimes I went right back and did what I wasn't supposed to do now. And my mom used extension cord, baby. A belt who? Child used to have whipped sometimes, open that. She was an abuser, though. It's different. But then, like I said, and it's something that created childhood trauma for me. But when she passed away and I learned about her upbringing, it was all she knew. See, and that's another thing. A lot of children can't understand that sometimes your mom or your dad, if they are doing that, it's not because they think, to them they're not thinking it's abuse. To them it's common because it's all they knew. They mom and dad inflicted that pain on them, so they felt like that's what makes a respectful child. That's what makes an obedient child, whooping them. They don't even understand that's a slave mentality. Whoopings came from slaves. They kept adults in line by whooping them, right? So it was something that was passed on. You never know which. The thing about it that's missing, I think, Ms. R, they worked for my daughters. They don't play with me and they respect me, and they are raising my grands the same way. That's why I say some people it may have worked for, but the majority it didn't. Because like I said, if it worked, prisons wouldn't exist. There wouldn't be not one person in there. Because in the 80s and 90s, who wasn't getting whoopings? Who wasn't whooping their child? Who wasn't get out of grown people business? Who wasn't when company came, you going in that room and you gonna close those doors? Who mamas didn't raise them like that? I know every good parent I knew one, but that's what they did. Children didn't sit in grown people conversations. Children ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? But they still committed crimes. They still The jail was a revolving door. They still was out here doing awful things to people, right? So see, some children need, and that's the thing, knowing that what works for one child may not work for the other. Some of them may unfortunately be that child that you got to lay hands on, right? But then you apply that to every child, and some of them you may have could have just talked to. They didn't need no whooping. So to them, some of them may be seeing it as I deserve this, right? But then you have those children that see this as my mom abusing me. But you don't know the difference between those two children because you haven't taken the time to know them. You treat them both the same because that's all you know is when a child is out of line, you whoop them. Nobody taught you that when a child is out of line, maybe let's just sit down and see what's wrong with them. Let's see if they're going through something at school. Seeing if a child doing something to them at school they're too embarrassed to talk to me about, or if an uncle is putting his hands on them in a a way that they shouldn't, or if somebody made them feel uncomfortable, or somebody already took their innocence and I don't even know. They don't feel comfortable having those conversations with you when somebody taking advantage of them because you always whooping on them. Oh, you making them feel like anything that they do, that's too grown. That's too grown. People don't know how to keep the little avenue open of communication, the little peaceful part. Like, know that no matter what, I didn't really have to whoop mines, but the discipline was there. Bad people are bad people. Children are not. Denitra, exactly. No, it's some horrible children. I disagree. A 14-year-old shot my son. That's a bad person. He don't care nothing about the fact that he shot my son. He could care less. He got out and did the same thing, still was trying to do the same things. No, that's not true. That's what I'm saying. We're giving them excuses. That's not true. Some of these children are demons. They evil. That's the fact. This is a different breed of what we used to know. You have adults, children will walk in the store, y'all. I see this. They'll walk in the store and they be cussing. Listen, I'm 42 years old. And if I'm in a store and I see elderly people, I will not say not one cuss word. The elderly people in my family, and I'm 42, they'll tell you even if I slip a curse, I'm like, oh, like my uncle, he'll tell you right now, he'll be like, Mika, you 42, you still do that? Yes, because you're still my elder. I don't need to be cussing around you. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, my bad, dang, I forgot who I was talking to. It's natural. That's why as a father, it's important for our presence. Yeah, it is very, very, very important. It's very, very, very important. Of the presence of a mother and a father is very important. But like I said, most of the time the mamas don't have that option to get up and leave. But a lot of fathers, they getting up and leave, and they getting up and leave, and then you have kids like King see them in the streets because all they taught all that one day you're gonna have to face that same child, right? So that child anticipates. They hear the mama constantly say that, so they anticipate the day when they can stand up against their dad that left them, and the first thing they want to do is challenge them, right? I respect, and I'm the same. I don't feel good. I don't feel good doing that. I don't. Even when I be talking online, because I don't know the age of some people, you'll still catch me saying Miss and Mrs. And if I cuss or whatever, I'm like, oh y'all, I'm sorry, or whatever, whatever. But it even though, it's just, I don't know, it's just something that's in me, right? But that's how I'm wired. I can't say I was taught. My mom and dad died when I was young. My mom when I was 14, dad at 15. Nobody got a chance to teach me nothing, right? But it still came natural to me that when I see somebody elderly, I don't want to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It came natural. It's not something that I required to do. Kiki and went right in. A lot of mothers are the reasons that the fathers are not there. Parenting classes should be mandatory. I agree. I agree. But what also takes me out with that is a lot of times with classes and stuff, it be people that haven't even raised children. Okay, yeah, yeah. A lot of times it's a lot of people that are not even parents. Then they say, "Well, we have the skills." No, you don't. You have the skills by a book or whatever you learned at school. You've never been a parent. You can't tell nobody how to be a parent. You've never had a child that you raised 24 hours a day. I don't care what nobody tell you. You can't tell me how to be a parent. Because how you know, regardless of if you been around while your brothers and sisters was coming up, you still never been a parent. You don't know how it feel to be willing to stand in the world, stand in the road and give your life for somebody else. You are not a parent. You can't tell me how to be a parent unless you raise the child 24 hours a day for every day of their life. You can't tell nobody else how to be a parent. And if you don't know their children specifically, you can't tell them how to parent that child unless you get to know that child for yourself. And that takes some type of instinct. You know, it's maternal or paternal. It's an instinct. It should be race specific classes because we are raised differently. It should be taught by a parent. Yeah, and you better say it. Yeah, you know, it's a lot of people they try to tell you because well, you know, because my child would never. Oh, how you know? You don't know what your child do when they're not in front of you. How you know your child would never? You will hope your child would never, but you don't know. I bet you if you talk to your children's friends, they probably have, and a lot of times, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but maybe sometimes, the majority, right? Because you do have some good kids out here that but may don't have um, a scratch on their record. You see what I'm saying? Who they are as a person, legally or nothing, right? But that was still a choice that they made. They made the choice to just be a straight and narrow. They respected. They chose to take in everything mom and daddy was putting down. They chose to want to be, you know, they chose to never want to smear their family name. They chose to respect their family name. They made a choice, right? They made a choice. And so the children that choose to smear their family name to go in and they are making a choice. This is what I'm saying. They applaud them for everything that they do good and give them all the accolades for everything that they do good. But then when it's something bad, the first thing people want to do is give them away, give the child away out by saying it's the parents' fault. No, that's still their fault. That was still choices that they made. I got a Caucasian man mom could relate to a young black mother. We are not built the same. Nah, we not. I agree with that. I agree with that. I totally agree with that because they different. I got a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old, both young ladies, and I'm a proud father. Amen. I'm so happy for you. That's great. And I always say I'm great. It's great. I always love the fact that of a present father. That's always important, even to a little girl. My daughters are so tight with their dad, y'all, and I love that for them. Even though I didn't get to get that, I love that for my babies. I love to watch them with their dad, even the way they hit his pockets. I still love that they have that they able to say that our dad is present. Our dad has always been present. We, you know, we daddy's girls. Okay, go to your table. The fact that they have that. I always wanted that. And like I said, if I have to wear the scars so they don't have to, I'm fine with wearing them because I wore the scars so that they can be daddy's girls. And I love that for them. I mean, I love that for them. You hear me? Because they hit his pockets up and he be like, oh, and I ain't going to give them nothing else. He'll wait till they leave. I be like, oh, don't tell me, tell them. He'll love to say that. I ain't going to give them nothing else. I'm tired of them. Yeah, right. But as soon as they come back, daddy, I need, he giving it up. And then he wanna talk to me about it. Don't talk to me. Tell them though to their face. Oh, they got him wrapped around his finger. Want to talk to me about it. Don't talk my head off. You could have told her no when she was here. Yeah, Courtney, they hit his pockets hard, Dimitri. I told him, y'all don't leave nothing for me. They hit his pockets hard. I have a 35 and 32-year-old daughters. I'm so proud of them. Their dads are also our present. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. People don't understand how important that is. The boys need them for sure to teach them how to be men, but those girls need them is something different, right? Because what I can say, like those babies, they always feel safe within their dad. They sit down as they get older. Like I've heard of conversations that they've had with him that I never thought that they would have with him. He'd be like, yeah, they already told me. Like we'll have a conversation. He'd be like, yeah, they already talked to me about that. And I'd be like, what? You know, and it just do something to me. It just brightens up my heart that they have that opportunity. Because what I've seen though in the house is the boys, no matter what, the boys are more attached to their moms. Right? So that's why I'd be like, you know, that's the hard part of it because we can't really teach them how to be men. You made it easier for them even after divorce. That's a blessing. So many people dangle them babies around. That'd be so aggravating. Like, because he may have been a bad man to you, that don't got nothing to do with the type of father he'd be to his kids. But these women be so bitter. You ain't gonna have my child around this, that, and third, but you can have your children around whoever you want to have them around. Because it ain't like you stopped dating once you and the daddy broke up. You can have them around who you ever, but you want to dictate who you have them around. I understand you meeting the person, but that should be on both ends. You know, I can understand you meet the person, get to know them, make sure that they safe to be around your child. But after that, you should no longer even be into all that. If you really done with that person, you shouldn't be worrying about what they got going on. Because as a father, he should have the mentality that he not gonna bring nobody around his children that he don't feel safe with them being around. Ain't, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no punani that dude. Got me talking like I talk to my baby type of dude. Ain't no. If you can't respect my children, if you can't love them like I love them, you can't be around them. Period. That should be a responsibility of the mother and the father. But all that extra stuff, all the extra baggage and negativity that be thrown in the middle because you bitter, you mad because he moved on, and those children gotta suffer because he was a bad man to you. That be ridiculous, and I can't stand that. Because he was a bad man to you, that ain't got nothing to do with them kids. Those kids' feelings should be the main priority. Y'all no longer exist. Stop talking about that. We don't want to talk about that no more. Let's talk about the churn. What you gonna do? How we gonna be the best mother father we can to these churn, even though we separate, to make sure that they get the love from both of us that they equally deserve. That other stuff, we don't even need to keep discussing that. It's over. But girl, a lot of women like to hold on to that, and that's irritating. And I've seen men do it too. Like a lot of men these days, they getting kind of, I don't know. I don't know. They starting to act more like women than the women do. Great conversation. Glad I caught you live. Give me a baby girl a hug. I definitely will give her a hug for you, Miss R. We love you. Thank you for coming. Good night. Yeah. They've holding on to all the wrong things. Like, that's not important. You got a child that's gonna grow up at some point and become an adult. That's gonna grow into at some point having a relationship. Don't make your child think that it's okay because you mad at the daddy. Now they can't see the child. Don't put that in your child head. And then not only are you gonna have trauma filled children, you're gonna end up having trauma filled grandchildren because your children's gonna inflict that same trauma on their children when they mad at the daddy or because he cheated on them and they done broke up. Now they can't see the children. Or I don't want my children around your new girlfriend. I don't, come on now. Them children ain't got nothing to do with that. They don't care nothing about that. They don't care nothing about that. As long as the lady good to them, baby, let them be. Let them be. If you feel some type of way, get to know yourself. Take it upon yourself as a woman to get to know the new woman that he with before you allow your children to go around. And once you meet her and you feel out for yourself, back up. That's no longer your issue. Everything else they got going on is no longer your issue. Mind, let them raise your children. Let people raise their kids because their children need everybody. Children need a village. It really takes a village. Like it really does. Because these children, like Jekyll and Hyde, like they can be one person one day and then somebody totally different that you don't even know the next day. Like they Jekyll and Hyde real bad. You be like, who are you? Who raised you? You be forgetting you the one raised them like it, because I sure ain't raised you to be like this. You let the devil use you. That ain't my child. You know, you be think stuff like that. I went through that with my first baby mama. Yeah, that'd be crazy. That be the most aggravating thing. Like, ew. That's why I told my sons. I used to be like, the girls, you automatically gonna get the grandbabies, no problem. But when your sons have them, you be like, man, God, Lord. Then they want to, when they get mad at the boys, they want to be mad at you. What you being mad at him got to do with me seeing my grandchildren? Now, me and you ain't never had no type of, relationship like that other than you being the mom of my grandchildren. Why you mad with him, mean I can't see my grandchildren? What I done to you? But no, they want to be mad at you. You raised the bum son. Let me tell you something. I never had to talk to me and him, never been in a relationship. He's my son. We have a mother and son relationship. As far as what he is in a relationship with a woman, that has absolutely nothing to do with me. That's never been our experience. You know what I'm saying? I can only do what I done. I told him to be good to women. He saw what mama went through. And so you be different. Baby, if he choose not to be different, how they got something to do with me? That's about you. You hold yourself accountable about the man that you chose? Right, exactly. Carl Thomas Emotional, the best song. You talk to him. You before you gave up that Punani, you ain't get to know him a little better. And I'm the mama, I tell them quick, honey, when they come out back, listen, let me tell you something. You better run, baby. Or I tell them, keep your heart in your back pocket, baby, because he ain't ready. I tell them all the time, he ain't ready. My boys are young. They're not ready for that. They're not ready for commitments. So don't get mad at me when you say, oh, he fine, and you still want to be with him, and then something go wrong. Now you want to be looking at me. What you looking at me for? I told you he wasn't ready. You let him tell you he was. I told you he wasn't. So now, really, who is at? Who is at fault here? My son said me all the time, "Are you a rat?" I don't care. Come what you want. I be trying to help. I listen, because before I'm a mama, a wife, anything, I'm a woman. Okay? And I know what I've been through. And so at the same time, I've been trying to prevent the little girls from going through the same thing. Until they're ready, they just ain't ready, honey. So you got to decide whether it's worth the fight. If you're going to keep standing and excusing that, baby, then that's on you. Don't hold me accountable for that. If you're going to keep standing around, oh, I love him, he fine. Well, baby, you love him and he fine when he do what he do. He's still the same fine because it ain't changed the way he look. If that's all attracted you to him and that was all required for you to open your legs, baby, then this sound like a personal problem, baby. That's a you problem, not my problem. But once grandchildren start getting involved, let me tell you something. Now it's something different. Stop doing that. Stop trying to use those children as a pawn to try to control people. Because I tell people all the time, baby, you ain't controlling me with no baby. That's what you ain't gonna do. Not on no level in your life. So if anybody told you you was gonna be able to control me with a baby, baby, they lied to you. You ain't gonna control me with no baby. I love them all to pieces, baby. But what you ain't gonna do is manipulate me or control me with no doggone baby. And I'm not bowing down to you about no baby. I don't care. It ain't happening. I tell my children all the time, I don't care how you feel about it, baby. I ain't doing it. If you want to beg her and bow down for your children, you do it. But I ain't. I ain't doing it. And it's done from both sides exactly, Demetri. It is. But that ain't my story. I ain't doing it. I love them so much, but baby, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. Because that should not be required. You should be very open to your child getting the love that they deserve from everybody. Put your emotions to the side. Let your child be loved properly. Stop trying to use children as pawns to control the narrative. That ain't what they're here for. They are not pawns in your little games. But a lot of people play that game. Unfortunately, that game is played way more than it should be. Playing these children, using these children as pawns and trying to use them to manipulate people or manipulate the narrative or so you can be in control of the narrative. Man, please. It's people like me out here that ain't going for it. So you're going to always be hurt. And I don't care what you say. I ain't doing it. I ain't never giving nobody that kind of power over me. I tell them when they get old enough, they come find grandma. If they can't see me when they're young, when they get old enough, hopefully they'll come find Nana and I'll be able to tell them myself why I ain't been around, baby. Because Nana ain't doing that. Nana ain't doing that. When you already know what you got, when I tell you through the door, he ain't ready for no commitment. So if commitment is what you looking for, my son ain't the one. And you let him tell you when he up in that nookie, you let him tell you all those sweet nothings and you fall for it. And now you mad because he turned out to be exactly what I told you he was. Huh. 3 things I don't do: people's money, their children, and their religion. Okay? Exactly. That ain't me. I ain't finna do it. I'm here to tell you. I am definitely as open as to being the most loving person in the world, baby. I got much love to give, baby. But let me tell you, I ain't gonna fight harder. I'm not finna fight to have to love on you. I ain't finna do that because it shouldn't be required. It should not be required. It should not be required that grandparents have to go through so much just to be a grandparent. That junk shouldn't be required like that. That hatred and that all that animosity. Man, listen, y'all deal with that. Again, that shouldn't have nothing to do with me being a grandmother. What you and my sons got going on, that's y'all business. Let me be a grandmother. I don't care about that other stuff. That has no bearing on me being a grandmother. I could care less. That's your business. Baby, I had to go through my time with their daddy. Okay? I had to do my time. You got to do yours too, baby. However you choose to do it. That has zero to do with me. Okay? Yeah, I gave you your warning through the door. That's all I had for you, baby. You chose to, that's another example, baby. I planted the seed. You ain't let it grow, baby. You let him plant another one that you agreed with. You let him plant seeds in your head and in your stomach. Baby, that's your problem. Exactly, one job. To love them, okay? Because like I said, at the end of the day, as far as raising them and all that, that ain't our job. Unless, like I said, you end up being one of those grandparents that actually have to raise your grandchildren because the parents pass away or they're going through something and they can't raise them, then you are asked to raise them, you know, then that's different. Other than that, it's not my job to raise them. That's not my job. I tell them quick, once all them get grown and gone, you think I'm gonna be locked down with grandbabies? Y'all about crazy. No, that is a no-go. That ain't happening. I see them, I love to see them, baby. But like I just tell them, y'all can have all them you want. But understand, ain't gonna be no 1,000 children up in my house. Not at one time. I ain't got the patience for that. Baby, no. Mm-mm. But I love them. I love them. I have some amazing grandbabies. They all make me laugh so much when they're around. They bring a smile to my face. They everything good about this life. Just like to me, my children are. Even though the children, baby, they run me through the ringer, honey. Even them grown ones. Because they want to be grown until something going on that require mom and daddy. Oh, you always want to flex your age when you doing the good, when things going good. But then when you got to come back to mom and daddy and ask for something, I need some help. Oh, now you ain't grown. Now we supposed to forget that you grown now because you need something from us. No, you was just grown when you had it. Now that you don't have it, you are a child now. You ain't grown no more now. Now we supposed to bow down and go straight into maternal and paternal instinct. You still grown. You still grown. Remember you was grown when you had it. Remember you was grown when I told you not to do it because it may cause this type of outcome that could be detrimental to your health or to your livelihood. When I told you not to do it as a mother, you was grown then. But now that you've seen the outcome that I told you could come from it, oh, now you my child again. You a child again now. You was just a grown person. Pick a struggle now. You can't be both. Either you my child or you a grown person. Which one you is? I have a stepdaughter. Well, hell, she my daughter. I helped raise her, and she had my granddaughter. She just turned 4 on the 20th. I swear you can't be kid. Exactly. You can't be both. That's just you can't. Because one thing a parent should never have to hear you say is I'm grown. Okay. Once you grown enough to stand in front of me and say that, you better stand on that. Even if I know age-wise you're considered grown, like I said, age really don't make you grown. Experience do. And the way you can handle yourself out in this world, because this world will eat you up and chew you out. Chew you up and spit you out. And that's facts. No matter how old you are. Experience is what keep you grounded. Experience is what gonna keep you growing. Experience can take you further than money can. Experience and having a level of respect and being able to listen and take in stuff and learn. Like learning, experience, that's gonna take you further in this life than anything will. Like they don't be understanding that. They be having their own little thing and love to flex that I'm grown until they ain't. I'm grown. I'm grown. I'm grown. Like I said, until they ain't, till they need you for something. Then it's mama or daddy. Oh, oh, you was just grown. Dang, you transformed quick. That transition was quick from grown to a child. Now that you got your hands out. Now that stuff ain't going right in your life. Now you want to look for somebody to blame. Why you let me? I ain't let you do nothing. I told you not to do it. You chose to do it. Why you let yourself do it? And now you back up in my face want me to fix it. When you could have just listened from the beginning and it would have never gotten broke. Sean, these children to take you through it, but I'm here to tell you. Baby, you gotta have the patience of Job with these children, even adult children. It don't matter what age they is. You have to have the patience of Job, baby, and know that they will be your responsibility for the rest of your natural born life. They will always be your responsibility. You never take your hands off them. You know, we never take our hands off them, no matter how old they are. But it's gonna always be a time in their life, no matter how old it is, when they're gonna need mama or daddy. It's gonna always be like that. That's when I say responsibility, that's what I mean when I say that. It's gonna always come a point in their life where they need us, whether they willing to admit it or not. Unfortunately, I had to become grown at 14. Me too. But this generation would have last. I'm 46, well alive and healthy. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. God got a purpose for your life. That's how I was too. My mom passed away when I was 14, and that was it for me. Like, it ain't no childhood. Ain't no such thing as a child. You're forced to now be an adult. You're forced to make sure if you don't look out for you, nobody's going to look out for you. If you don't make sure you straight, nobody's going to make sure you're straight. So it's either now, it's like kill or be killed type thing. Like, you in it. You in it. Either you're going to keep your head up, you're going to sink or swim. That's what it is. So you go into fight mode. And that's why I said maybe that's why I'm a little, my mind is different, because a lot of people speak from places that they never had to go through half the stuff I went through. So, of course, their outlook and my outlook won't be the same, right? Because they were able to be a child. So they was able to not experience a lot of things that I experienced as a child, so they don't understand it. So they'll say, yeah, a child is supposed to do this, 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 this. Right, because you were able to be a child, so you got that experience. I never experienced that. I never got the experience of being a child after the age of 14. How? I couldn't be a child. So I don't know nothing about being like how what teenagers do and all that. I was an adult in my mind. I was a child in age, but I was an adult making adult moves, doing what's considered adult things. I was in adult situations. Like I say, it was sink or swim. It was flight, fight and flight mode. Like, that was it. It wasn't no time to be no child. Life is the best teacher. A little harder, but the best teacher it is. It is. It's a lot harder. I'm telling you. It is a lot harder. When life got to teach you what your parents can't. When life got to teach you, when your parents can't, when life got to teach you what your parents can't, it's a different type of experience. Tell people that all the time. It's something different. Don't make life have to teach you. I tell mine all the time. You better enjoy the fact that your parents can teach you. Don't let life have to be your teacher. Because life gonna teach you with no love. Because the streets don't love nobody. So life gonna teach you a different kind of lesson in a different way. Life ain't gonna take it easy on you. Yep, it's you against the world, and that's facts. That is facts. Well, it's 12:49. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. May yesterday be better than yesterday. May your tomorrow be better than today. Know that every day God blows that breath in your body. You're one step closer to your season. Don't fumble yourself worrying about the world. Y'all have an amazing night. For all those who are here, my little 3 people, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Good night.